Oluchi Obesai walked across the campus of Eastern Heights University like she carried her own sunlight, students pausing not because of her beauty alone or the quiet luxury stitched into her clothes, but because she seemed unreachable, a golden girl floating through their world. Yet behind her polished smile lived a loneliness she had learned to hide too well, raised by Chief Dominic Obesai in a home where every emotion was measured, every word weighed, and love felt more like a negotiation than a comfort. One quiet evening in the library, as she blinked away tears of frustration at her statistics assignment, a gentle voice drifted behind her. "Excuse me. I think you're mixing up the formula." She turned. And there he was. Chike Njin, the scholarship student whose brilliance whispered instead of shouted, whose smile warmed more than any chandelier in her mansion, whose presence felt like a soft breath of peace in her restless world. He wore simple clothes, held second-hand books to his chest, and yet carried himself with a sincerity that felt rare and precious. That evening, as their pens scratched, their laughter echoed, and their conversations stretched into the night, Oluchi felt something she had not felt in years, seen. Safe. Understood. And slowly, quietly, beautifully, she began to fall. Her friends noticed the change first. "Who is this Chike boy? Oluchi, why are you smiling like that?" She waved them off, but inside she knew, she had found something real, something tender, something her world of gold had never offered her. But the day she introduced Chike to her father was the day her world cracked. The Obesai mansion glittered with chandeliers and marble, but that evening, everything felt cold. Chief Obesai's eyes cut through Chike like a blade. "What exactly do you want from my daughter?" Chike tried to speak of love, of respect, but the chief raised a hand sharply. Silence fell like a wall. Later in his study, the storm erupted. "You bring this into my home? A boy with nothing?" Oluchi flinched as if struck. "He loves me," she whispered. "That should matter." Her father laughed, a dry, painful sound. "Love doesn't protect you. Love doesn't build empires." And with that, he forbade the relationship. Oluchi cried until morning, but love, stubborn, soft, defiant, made her choose Chike anyway. They built a quiet world together, late-night walks under orange streetlights, suya shared on sidewalks, dancing in the rain until they forgot their fears, studying shoulder to shoulder, whispering dreams as if building a sky only they could see. In Chike's tiny home, surrounded by laughter instead of luxury, Oluchi felt free for the first time in her life. But freedom came with a cost. Her wealthy friends mocked her. Her father tightened his grip, taking her phone, limiting her movements, surrounding her with guards. Still, she climbed the estate fence one night just to see Chike. He held her as if the whole world was trying to pull them apart. Weeks later, she fainted in class. At the clinic, the nurse returned with careful eyes. "Congratulations, you're pregnant." The world paused. Chike held her hands, his eyes trembling with love instead of fear. "We'll raise this child together," he whispered. But when her parents found out, the mansion shook with rage. "You have disgraced this family," her father roared. Her mother cried into her hands. "Why him, Oluchi? Why someone like him?" With tears streaming, Oluchi answered simply, painfully, truthfully. "Because he treats me like a human being." Her father pointed at the door. "Get out." Just like that, the home she grew up in cast her away. Chike took her into his one-room apartment, a place with flickering electricity, water fetched in buckets, and a bed barely big enough for two. Mama Ngozi hugged her like a daughter, whispering, "You're safe here." Chike began working day and night, mechanic shifts, delivery runs, sweeping floors. He barely slept. Oluchi watched him come home limping, exhausted, soaked in sweat or rain, and cried quietly into her pillow, believing she was destroying his future. One night she whispered, fragile. "Maybe my father was right." Chike knelt, lifting her chin gently. "You gave me hope. You are not a burden." But life kept hitting. Mama Ngozi's health began to fail. Chike lost a job. Bills piled up like curses. When Mama Ngozi collapsed, the clinic refused to touch her without payment. She survived, but their spirits cracked. Then Oluchi's condition worsened. Bleeding. Pain. Fear. Chike carried her in his arms to the hospital. Please. She's dying. Deposit first, they replied coldly. Desperate and shaking, he ran through the storm to his estranged father's house. Daddy, please, help me. She's dying. His father stared at him, unmoved. You made your choices. Live with them. And closed the door. Chike fell to his knees in the rain, screaming into the darkness, a sound too painful for any night to hold. By the time he returned to the hospital, Oluchi was fading. Her breathing shallow. Her hands cold. She touched his cheek, her voice barely a whisper. I love you, take care of our baby. No, please stay with me, he begged, tears falling onto her skin. Her eyes fluttered, then stilled. The world fell silent. Chike held her for hours, rocking her lifeless body, breaking in ways words could never carry. When Chief Obesai heard, his world collapsed. He drove to the morgue alone. When he saw her, his knees gave out. My child, what have I done? He sobbed, the weight of his pride crushing him. Chike buried Oluchi in her village, thousands attending, students, strangers, neighbors, all touched by her story. After the burial, he held their newborn daughter close and whispered, trembling, I'll raise you in her memory. The community planted flowers around the old tree where Oluchi and Chike once sat together, a gentle memorial for a love the world could not protect. Days later, Chief Obesai came to Chike with slow, broken steps. I don't deserve forgiveness, he said, voice trembling. But allow me to support my granddaughter. After a long silence, Chike finally replied. Be present, not controlling. Love her, don't cage her. For the first time, the two men shook hands, not as rivals, but as wounded souls trying to rebuild what love had left behind. Years passed. Chike's daughter grew into a gentle, bright child, her mother's smile, her father's heart. She often visited her mother's tree, laying tiny flowers at its roots. Chief Obesai became the loving grandfather he had never been. And Chike found peace in watching his daughter laugh, walk, grow, each step a reminder of the woman he lost and the love she left behind. Whenever he felt lost, he remembered her final words. I love you. Her love became his compass. Her memory his strength. Her story his purpose. Beyond the walls of gold. Beyond pride. Beyond pain. Love remained, the only legacy she truly left behind.